The new year had begun. 6 days had passed. 7th Jan 2023. A devastating day. A shattering day for a mom. I lost my eldest son, Prathum, an aspiring wine. A phone call came from my sister's place in Mumbai. My husband picked the call. She said, Pranav is not getting up. We are trying to wake him up, but he is not getting up. His body has turned blue. Listening to this, my husband just collapsed. He just collapsed on the ground and he started screaming, yelling, Pranav. I just came from the washroom, gushing and seeing him lying down on the ground. I didn't know what to do. I was just shattered. As it was hard to believe, in fact, still it is very hard. No more I can get a tight hug from my son. No longer I can get to hear my son's voice. No longer I can see his smile. My pilot, he was a charming, smart, handsome boy. He is the hero of my life. This is one of the hardest losses to have, to get through in life as a pilot. Sometimes it's difficult to catch even a breath for me. But as a mom, I had to stand strong for my family. I had to hide myself, my tears within, and stand like a rock. Today it's 2 years, 6 months, 7 days past, but still we listen every moment. I was totally away from social media, not having any contacts. The only contact I have was with my pure soul, my angel Kiran. I talk to him every day. I tell him all that is going on in and around. Whenever I see an aeroplane flying, I salute him, saying, Captain, fly safe and land safe with all the passengers. Your mom is proud of you. I keep sharing and caring with him all my posts. My angel takes care of everyone and shows the right path. I know he will come back, as he has gone to play an important role in someone's family, and he will surely return back one day. I don't know whether I'll be alive or not, but he will surely return one day to our family. Come soon, my smarty, my ladla. Your mom is waiting for you. Your mom is waiting for your tight hug. You're the whole wide world for me, my dear Pranav. Miss you a lot. Miss you a lot.
What you just heard was a phone call that changed our lives forever. 7th Jan 2023 will be etched in my memory until the day I die. The multitude of emotions I felt that day is unfathomable. I was abruptly awakened by loud noises coming from the living room. My dad had never reacted in that way before, and that's when I realized that something terrible had happened. I rushed to my dad and he told me that my brother wasn't waking up. My feet became numb. It felt as if the earth beneath me had cracked open. In a swift motion, we had some bags packed with no idea of when we would return, no clue of what awaited us, no sense of what was awaiting for us when we landed. I've taken several flights to Mumbai before, but this one was different. Usually the time flies by, but this felt like the longest 3 hours of my life. Maybe it was fate slowing time down to help us prepare for what awaited us when we landed. Maybe it was the fact that we were too anxious, too scared, too preoccupied to even bother with our phones or the screens in front of us. There were so many questions in our minds. What happened, how it happened, and how it came to this. I couldn't bear the thought of seeing my brother on his deathbed. My brother, the ambassador of energy, the epitome of self-reliant strength, the commander of the skies, lying motionless. The last conversation I had with him was when I texted him a Happy New Year. Since he hadn't done anything special on New Year's, I was a bit concerned. However, he reassured me. He told me that he was focused on his goals and that he wanted to enjoy life with his own earnings. I told him that he will earn abundantly in 2023. Months had passed since I had last heard his voice or even seen him. And here I was, wishing for his success, oblivious that God had other plans. Fate is a fickle fiend. I didn't know who to be mad at, God or myself. All these questions fought for space in between grief and shock, clouding my conscience. In the following months, we stayed in India for a while, so we had family around us to keep our minds distracted and help us cope. But eventually, we had to return to Dubai because life doesn't stop for anyone. And that's when all hell broke loose. We had to face reality and accept the fact that he isn't going to return to us. There was minimal to no conversation in the house. We felt so broken inside that our house didn't feel like a home. I used to wake up really late just so I could get out of the house to distract myself, as I couldn't bear the sight of my parents in that depressed state. I always had my brother by my side to shield me from such problems. Now that I had to face them myself, I just couldn't, as I didn't have the willpower to do so. I used to be up all night trying to exhaust myself by watching TV shows or playing games just so I could get some sleep. But whenever I closed my eyes, the image of him on his deathbed would flash through my mind and wake me up. And one of those long, sleepless nights, a painful thought resurfaced and everything clicked. I realized that my brother used to cope with his problems in a similar manner. He rarely spoke to me about them, likely because he didn't want to burden me. And he knew that the second I sensed that something was troubling him, I would inform our parents, which would stress them out as well. He was looking out for us even at his lowest points. This emotional intelligence came through years of pain, years of being the victim of body shaming and harassment. He knew he was contributing something positive to the world by not putting others down. All of this at the tender age of 14. Remembering his strength helped, but it couldn't erase the reality of my own grief. I had to learn how to navigate life without him. And that challenge became intensely real when almost 5 months after his passing, I had to return to Canada to gather my belongings. I was moving back to Dubai for university. This was the first time I was going to be away from my family after this tragedy. And again, everything came crashing down. Before I reached Canada, and even upon arrival, I felt like a helpless observer as everything spiraled out of my control. I was unsure of how to cope with it. Now that I was alone with my thoughts, I confronted the multiple realities of life that I had previously suppressed. I was there for 2 weeks, and towards the end, it felt like I was losing my conscience. I ended up having a manic episode. I honestly don't even remember how I got back to Dubai. But throughout my time there, it felt as though he was right there by my side with his arm over my shoulder, guiding me back home. As you heard in the video, My parents call him an angel for a reason, because it was truly a miracle that I made it back unscathed. That feeling of his presence, that feeling of being guided home safely, made me want to remember not just the pain, but the vibrant and adventurous person he truly was. I wanted to celebrate his life. And so my thoughts drifted back to our childhood. My brother was a person who wasn't scared of risking his life for the joy of thrill and adventure. From the time he was moving around the house in his underwear till the time he took his final breath, I can assure you that he would never say no to a fun plan with his loved ones. From bursting firecrackers at Diwali to going on jaw-dropping roller coasters, he never thought twice about putting his life at risk. His love for adrenaline just outweighed it. You can see why he was aiming to be a commercial pilot, because the thrill he anticipated about how he can tackle uncertainties at 40,000 feet in the air was immense. He passed his aviation academy with flying colors. He finished the hardest parts of his training in his first attempt, especially landing. All of this stemmed from his passion for flying. Looking at the world in landscape mode gave him immense peace. It wasn't all smooth sailing though. I remember that he called me once, and my brother usually never called me unless it was something important. He wanted to talk to me about how he almost faced death that day. He said, and I quote, "My co-pilot was on landing duty today, and he messed up due to adverse weather conditions. We found ourselves headed straight towards a tree. I had to take over the flight controls and save the day. If coming in at the 11th hour to score the winning goal doesn't earn you some aura points, then what does?" Even in a life or death situation, he trusted his instincts as a trainee pilot and got him and his co-pilot home unharmed. That courage, that instinct, and that profound sense of responsibility, those weren't just the qualities of an accomplished pilot, they were the essence of my brother. And it is because of the lessons he taught me about that kind of strength that I'm able to speak to you all here today. He didn't want me to get weathered by the cruelties of life, which is why he always looked out for me and protected me. He molded me into the person I am today, and I'll be forever grateful to him for that. As an ode to him, one of my main goals in life is to start a non-profit organization by the name of Prathum, Kiran, Singh, for underprivileged kids who aspire to be pilots. And the motto for this non-profit will be striving for vitality. Everyone around us is facing their own battles, navigating through their own challenges. But that doesn't give us the license to use that anger or frustration and lash out on other meaningful people in our life. Put yourselves in their shoes and think from their perspective. It will truly change the way you think about the world. Everybody wants to know what he'd do if he were still alive. I guess we'll never know.